Hi there, Pyro. Yeah, I mean, one of the things you say is in the beginning of your response there is you said I'm missing any sense that the ball chooses whether to go in the hole or not after it's been stuck by the pool cue. But that's kind of the point, really, because what I'm trying to do is avoid any of the language of intentionality that clusters around the concept of will. So choose would be one of those. You know, I'm assuming that the feeling of agency, the feeling of choosing, is what is, I don't know, it would need to be explained separately why that feeling is the way it is. What I'm trying to articulate is a mechanism by which that kind of subjective occurrence of a feeling could be explained through purely deterministic forces. In the case of a billiard ball, the forces which are primarily Newtonian even. So I am deliberately avoiding moments like choosing, which wouldn't necessarily negate the possibility of there being moments that occur in that particular example, in the passage of a billiard ball across the bays, which could be registered and could appear to the outside as choosing, and could even appear to some kind of internal monitoring process as a sense of choosing. Although I acknowledge that the billiard ball isn't a great example, because the billiard ball in the example I gave at least doesn't have any possibility of actuating. You know, there is nothing there's nothing dependent, no activity follows from the tracking processes that I articulated. When you talk about the example that you give, which I think is a really useful development, is talking about the tracking of a missile heading towards a fighter jet, and how the onboard computer systems do indeed do that constant updating, constant simulating of potential kinds of futures, and mapping of the existing moment in the progress of that missile or the progress of that jet, comparing the simulation with the actuality as a means of either predicting what will happen in the future, or to initiate systems which will change the course of the missile or change the course of the jet to either cause an impact or evade impact. In fact, one of the things you say in there, you said that the missile was trying to strike the jet. I know it was just a kind of slip of the tongue, if you like, but I think that's the kind of intentional language which we do absolutely apply to inanimate systems, and we call that an illusion. I think elsewhere we use the term illusion of will. What I'm suggesting is that all will is an illusion of will, which is explained elsewhere by different kinds of systems. I think you're talking about autopilot. I've just made a note here about the autopilot on a plane having an illusion of will, because its actions appear to make a difference in the future. Well, isn't that pretty much what we have? We have illusions of will because our actions appear to have a difference in the future, but it could easily be equally explained by our non-conscious processing, running simulations, concurrent simulations of potential actions, weighted differently, with our present actions being mapped to one or other of those simulations, activities kicking in to either further a particular goal or to support a particular action, and that actuation of a script to kind of steer us back on course. Sorry, that's my spin dryer just going to spin. That experience of that being accompanied by a feeling which feels like will, which feels like agents, which feels like control. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think we need to explain control, or we don't need to include control. We're trying to explain the sense of control, or the sense of choosing. Anyway, thanks very much. Do you like the red and the flowers? It's nice, isn't it?